rescues, and road conditions.
Just to see the smiles on their faces when help arrives and we get them to safety, that's the best thing that could ever happen.
The teamwork it took, keeping roadways safe.
Back in business, I'm Frederick Price with why some restaurant owners decided to open back up despite the leftover winter weather.
Plus, Friday fun in the snow.
So we did our packet this morning, right? And we did Zoom with his class, and then as soon as that's over, it's time to play.
We made it to Friday.
We did.
Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Marlisa Goldsmith.
And I'm Rolly Hoyt. An icy morning melted some under the afternoon sun, leaving us with a very slushy evening.
Meteorologist Nathan Scott joining us now with how this will affect us moving forward. Nathan?
Good evening, Rolly. Good evening, Marlisa. We're going to start off here with THV11. We're looking off to the west. This is Interstate 630, and you can see the interstate looks pretty good. 7th Street does not look too bad. A lot of that slush has been melting. Different story for 6th Street, though, and that slush, or any slush or standing water out there, is going to refreeze tonight. And that's what the big concern will be going into tonight and also into your Saturday morning. Highs today, though, with that sun, we topped out at 40 degrees at Little Rock, 37 in Conway, 37 was the number at Monticello. Temperatures out there right now sliding back down into the mid-30s, even below freezing in some spots. Russellville, Searcy, Monticello, you're not reporting at this time. Might be some technical difficulties with the observation sites. But here's your hour by hour. Sun sets, the temperatures tumble down quickly into the 20s, and it's going to be a very cold night. And this is why we're concerned about the potential of black ice, because the numbers will drop down into the teens to lower 20s all across the region. So once again, any slush or anything that does look like ice right now will freeze solid. So watch out for that first step if you're going to be out and about early tomorrow morning. But here's the good news. Temperatures will warm up well above freezing on our Saturday, and that's just the start of a nice warming trend. I'll let you know when we can hit 60 degrees in my extended forecast coming up later.
All right, now that we know a little about the forecast, we want to get a live look at those road conditions. And thankfully, with the sun coming out today, the ice and snow finally started melting a little, helping it clear up a bit. THV11's Mercedes McKay monitoring the highways all day for us. Tell me, if people want to get out for a bite to eat tonight, what can they expect on the roads?
Marlisa, well, that sun did help us earlier this morning, kind of melting those rough patches. But if you're going out tonight, it's going to be a little bit of a different story. We're here in a neighborhood in North Little Rock, and as you can see, all of this around me is slush that Nathan was talking about. But now that has the potential to refreeze, and that's where it can get tricky if you are traveling tonight. It's a similar story out on the interstates. Some areas are clear, but then some areas are rough, specifically under bridges near those interstate ramps. Well, earlier today, it was even more icy, and that was causing some issues for drivers across the state. But thankfully, our heroes came to help.
We come with a certain skill set that helps this community and any situation, whether it's national or whether it's a state mission. We're always there and we're always ready.
It's an honor that Master Sergeant Galen Shepard has held for a while.
I have been in the Air Force for 22 years.
He's answered the call to volunteer when weather hits several times now.
Whether it's ice storms such as this, tornadoes, hurricanes.
It's a little different, though, for the soldier he's been working side by side with since Wednesday.
This is my first volunteer act since I've been in.
Jackson Chambers has been an airman for the Arkansas National Guard for just 1 year. And over the past couple of days, he's been able to bond with Shepard in the passenger seat.
He likes cars. We talk about his family, my family. He wants a 2006 Viper. He's about to retire.
The two haven't only been bonding while driving through the snow in their military Humvee. They've been assisting the Arkansas State Police with responding to winter weather issues. From accidents.
Today we helped a young lady who hit a wall, and we got her to safety and got her vehicle towed.
To helping essential workers get to work when they can't get out of their neighborhood.
Right now we're picking up the state troopers colonel and taking him to his job.
The look on Arkansans' faces when the men in camouflage arrive is Shepard's favorite part.
Just to see the smiles on their faces when help arrives and we get them to safety, that's the best thing that could ever happen.
No matter what the mission is, these heroes respond to the call.
We're Arkansas Air National Guard. We want to help out Arkansas as much as we can through every storm, everything that's happening. We just like helping people.
These two were a part of the 8 National Guard teams that have been helping around the state over the past couple of days, and they're going to continue to do that until there's no more need, specifically on those roads. And speaking of roads, according to RDOT, as of 11 p.m. last night, there were 142 accidents reported by iDrive, and that doesn't even count the many that we saw today on the interstate. So if you're going out, all of y'all want to get dinner tonight, just please drive slowly, be cautious of those rough patches, and just be as cautious as possible. Live in North Little Rock, Mercedes McKay, THV11 News.
All right, she set the table for you there. You know what the roads are like if you want to go out and get some food. The question is, where can you get some food? Because several places closed yesterday because of the weather. So now, what kind of places are we looking at open tonight? If you want to go out with friends, THV11's Frederick Price continues our team coverage. You're over in North Little Rock. What's the situation out there, bud?
Yeah, Broly, what a difference 24 hours makes. As Mercedes just mentioned, a lot of melting went on between the highways, the roads, and especially sidewalks here in downtown North Little Rock in the Argenta Arts District. I was out here all day today, and it was slippery, but as the sun came out, it became more or less slushy. So here's the thing. If you're wanting to come out tonight and grab a bite to eat with your friends, you're in luck because a lot of businesses are open.
Yesterday, when the roads felt a little bit more treacherous, we stayed home.
For many Arkansans like Ruthie Hokins, she's happy the lingering winter weather will soon be a thing of the past.
Those roads didn't scare us, but we were still really cautious when we were driving through downtown.
Temperatures above freezing Friday allowed a lot of the ice to melt. But yesterday was a different story for Brood and Barley's general manager, Brian McFadden.
The funny thing about Arkansas is that everything closes down.
For winter weather, that is. The threat from the forecast was enough for him to make the tough decision to close his doors Thursday.
We don't want to put our employees or our customers in jeopardy.
That's a choice, he says, couldn't last for long.
Yeah, but it is probably going to freeze over again.
Friday morning, despite the leftover sleet, it was back to business for him and his employees.
And after, going out of my house in my skivvies and looking at the street and being like, okay, we can do this. We should be okay.
Aside from the financial hurdles of being closed, McFadden says the Argenta Arts District is a close community that relies on the restaurant service.
And some of them even texted me yesterday like, hey man, where you at? They wanted us open today, so we did our best to be here.
The Root Cafe wanted to play it safe, so they opened at 11 on Thursday.
We can still open, we can still function, but we don't need to put anybody at risk for a sandwich.
With temperatures expecting to drop again, Kim Foray says they'll be shutting down early.
We didn't want to risk staying open too late and then not being able to get home safely, and especially in the dark and stuff too.
Their decision to stay open gives people like Hokins a chance to leave home and get out and eat.
I was just ready to have something, that I didn't cook at home, so I was excited to get out, but I would have just stayed home if it felt worse than it did today.
And McFadden tells me he and another employee worked together earlier today to get people to work. Now, another big threat is going to be refreezing tonight. The Root Cafe tells me that will be the determining factor in what time they will open tomorrow morning. We're live in North Little Rock. Frederick Price, THV11 News.
Thanks so much, Frederick. Now we know kids love a good snow day. With many of them out of school or learning virtually, sledding became this afternoon's lesson of the day. THV11's Ian Russell caught up with some families enjoying the winter weather.
There are few things more fun than a snow day as a kid.
My name's Lux Harris and we're sledding down hill.
5-year-old Lux knows that firsthand.
We're about to run into a car. So people, don't worry, my mom will do it.
He's spending the afternoon sledding with his mom in Hillcrest, after doing his schoolwork, of course.
So we did our packet this morning, right? And we did Zoom with his class, and then as soon as that's over, it's time to play.
All across the metro, kids and families took some time to hit the slopes today, whether they were off the main roads and more suited for Lux, or at parks big enough for the big kids.
It's a good day to sled because it's more icy, and the sleds they go faster if you have the right sled.
Andrew Pickens spent the day at War Memorial with his friends Bella and Fisher Vines. I'd say he's got the right kind of sled.
Snow days around here are so rare. It is kind of a cause to just, like I said, drop everything and get out here and have some fun, especially with the kids.
Andy Vines is Bella and Fisher's dad. He says Friday's warming temps made for some melting and then icy parts, especially on the roads.
But the roads getting down here were kind of treacherous, so I can see why more folks aren't out here. We didn't have any problems, thankfully, and maybe now that it's warming up, we'll get some more folks out here.
There's few things better than a snow day, no matter your age.
And which way is the best? Going down head first or on your bottom?
I forgot.
You forgot. Okay.
And no matter the size of the hill.
Go outside.
Yeah, go sled. Yeah, go outside. Be careful on the roads, though.
In Little Rock, Ian Russell, THV11 News.
We want to turn now to COVID-19 in Arkansas, and those icy conditions definitely impacted the numbers that came back today. A little more than 1,500 new cases reported, very likely because so many people didn't go out and get tested yesterday because of the weather. But it doesn't take away from the drop that we have been seeing in active cases and hospitalizations. Fewer than 44,000 people with an active infection right now, about 1,500 of them fighting it from a hospital. We do continue to see a surge in the number of people dying, 29 more people added to the state's total today.
The Arkansas Blood Institute helps our local hospitals so much, keeping them stocked to help care for patients. But between the pandemic and these colder months, donations are down, and they're now asking for your help.
We've got some work to rebuild. The last 2 days has really wreaked havoc on current supply levels.
There are mobile donation sites set up for tomorrow in Conway, one at the Toad Suck Harley-Davidson and the other with the National Guard. To find donation times and locations, go visit their website, arkbi.org.
Well, just because we're warming up doesn't mean it's warm. How to keep pets safe in these conditions. It's coming up next.
And we're done with the winter weather, but we're not done with the winter weather problems. Black ice is going to be a big concern tonight. I'll have more on that and talk about a big-time warming trend going into next week. Next.